All right, there we go. Now we have it. Sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. Had to set the old microphone up again. But welcome, welcome, welcome. Super duper happy to have you here. And welcome to the RedEyes $450 Dead in Month Tournament Qualifiers for Group A. Now officially under brand new sponsorship with Kick Streaming. If you guys aren't aware, we are extremely excited about this. Kick offering 95% streamer revenue payout. So if you guys aren't on the ball with that, you're definitely going to want to make one. But already, we are kicking things off. We have 3 rounds of action, mayhem, and strategy, and already Lotus Esports and C4, 2 renowned Tier 1 teams, already going at each other's throats, and Lotus taking a hit already. And as I was saying, without the microphone apparently, but we have 3 rounds of action, mayhem, and strategy to get into with you guys today. And for those of you who don't know me, I'm RedEyes, your ever lovable and adorably cuddly caster, bringing that daily dosage of butt kickery, tomfoolery, and all around shenaniganism. And we have those 3 matches today for you. And now the new inclusion for the Dead Month tournament, the ever lovable and snowy map of Vikendi. Oh, Psych is taken down right then and there by Bond of C4. And now Bond is the last hope for the team. Can he clutch a 1v3 scenario where he is just all around outnumbered, outmanned, and outgunned? Only time will tell. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is that. Lotus Esports claiming a little early round dominance here for the Dead in Month tournament. They are going to be kicking it off for September, being the first kills on the board. Now, already I can tell that there are a couple things that we have yet to announce, so let's go ahead and show them here on the screen. We've got 20 teams competing, ladies and gentlemen, but only 4 teams will advance to the $450 finals. We'll get more into that in just a few moments. Here we have F29 working on members of Black Mamba. And ladies and gentlemen, 20 teams compete. Lotus Esports, KG, C4, Team P-Noise, Exceed, Cryptic Esports, Black Mamba, Spirit, Strangers BD, The Lycans, Third Eye, Excuse, Team Aces, GR, One Shot, Lettuce Esports, J Nepal, Sentinels, F29 Reborn, and Overnight. So I'm expecting nothing but action right off the bat. And as you can see, ladies and gents, we are kicking things off with the ever beautiful and lovely, oh wow, sorry about that, the ever lovely map of Erangel. Now what do we need to say about Erangel? Well, it's the first map that was ever introduced to PUBG Mobile here. And so it's the map that our participants should by all means be the most acquainted with. Now, ooh, pardon me. This is not quite how I set it up, but I do apologize for that, ladies and gents. We will get that going for you in just a moment. But let's get back into the action here. And I'm sorry about having a couple last minute scene hiccups there. It's kind of the nature of the beast that we tackle with mobile esports. Ooh, but I am already seeing more action here on the board as we got overnights in fairly close proximity here to members of Team 9, the Black Mambas. Give me one moment here to actually get this up on my screen too. Sorry about that. I am very well aware that that's exactly all you guys are seeing at the moment, just from the way that the PC emulator is set up here. Now, there we go. We're all golden at this point, hopefully. Yes, all right. So it's a bit of a standoff here between these 2 heavy hitters, and Black Mamba and Overnight. And as you can see, Black Mamba has been reduced down to, well, 3 members at this point. Papi Triste, I believe we actually witnessed his demise here at the beginning of the match. So just to go reiterate for you guys, how does the Dead in Month tournament work? Well, I'm glad you asked here. We got 20 teams competing in tonight's qualifier, but of those 20 teams, only 4 will advance on. Now, we run 3 rounds of qualifiers, so that's 12 qualified teams, plus the 8 invited Tier 1 professional teams, where they're all going to duke it out for that $450 prize pool come September 30th for the finals. All right, so it looks like members of Sentinel is just playing the waiting game here. Looks like Lotus Esports still holding position at Pachinki, and it looks to be with good reason. They have enemies fairly close by. F29 getting a little bit holy and occupying some church a little bit early. It's a Saturday, it's not even a Sunday here, but we got Dark. Here nearby is Buddy Karma, and he's pulling a risky cross-street rotation here, readily equipped with an AK-47 Mini 14 combo, acquiring that buggy and trying to make the great escape if possible. But will Lotus allow it? Off in the distance, I can already see other bits of action on the board. Pardon me. It looks to be a bit of a standoff between members of Cry Reborn, or pardon me, Cryptic Esports, and members of LTC. This is going to be Lettuce Esports. And I'll tell you what, we'll go ahead and bring that up on the alt cam. All right, maybe we won't. Okay. Give me a second to fix that then. All the technical hiccups at the very beginning of the month, as to be expected at this point, honestly. All right, so we'll give that a moment to kick back in here. No pun intended. And while that is coming back up, ladies and gentlemen, we'll go ahead and switch back on over. I'm hearing some shots in the distance. Yeah, okay, I think it might... Yeah, it's actually going to be in front of us. It's going to be between members of Overnight and their looming opposition in Black Mamba. Same standoff that we were dealing with last time. It looks like it lingers on, and this tends to be a fairly common scenario in early game, especially when there's a lot riding on the line here. And ladies and gentlemen, there's only 3 matches today. Only 3 matches to decide who wants it bad enough. We do allow the top 4 teams, the top 25% to advance forward. Pardon me, top 20% to advance forward. What is math? But that still leaves 16 teams that are going to be left high and dry and going home crying tonight. So it's going to be 3 quick matches to decide who wants it bad enough to go on to those $450 finals on September 30th, where they're all going to duke it out over 4 matches for that $450 prize. And it looks like Strangers BD going off in the distance, getting finishes on members of Lotus, and now preparing themselves for a looming altercation between members of Strangers BD and One Shot. Now, One Shot just holding position, but as a 2-piece. If you are aware with the rules of the tournament, you'll know that you're going to need at least 2 tags on a team in the qualifiers to be scored, and that does not look to be the case here. But they are not wasting their time by entering. By still participating, they are ensuring that they do not receive the 1-month ban from Dead in October, which is a big one. All right, well, Overnight now acquiring their second kill here. It looks like they have another threat nearby, and mostly for Unknown. It's going to be the Final Hope for Team 9. Oh, Final Hopes, pardon me. It's going to be Spotlight and Echo to carry on the team's name as this 2-piece. Now we see Echo readily equipped here with that newer 7.62 automatic Honey Badger, ready to dish out some damage if the opposition decides to push, and Spotlight doing a little bit of the same. And it's pretty understandable in this scenario where the numbers are very much against their favor, for them to be a little bit more reserved. Not so much to the point where you're playing passive, but a reserved approach, not giving out any easy kills. Looks like members of Team Aces not far off from the southbound threat in Lettuce Esports. Lettuce consisting of Meatball, Kanaki, Chaos, and Flock. As you can see, Meatball already with that AUG-23. As of the brand new update, this is now a regular gun, no longer a crate gun as it was since the inception of PUBG Mobile. It is now rejoined the ranks of the everyday guns. However, flip the script, the FAMAS, believe it or not, is now the crate gun to take its place. I'm not sure how everyone's feeling about that yet. But, ooh, Dark being quickly approached by Aces. And boy, yes, it's going to be tough to beat those pocket aces. That hand coming ready. Now, it looks like Exodus is not even present. Maybe disconnected or just AFK, but regardless, he is not going to be a lot of help in that position. So we're going to go down to the remainder of Black Mamba, which, as we noted earlier, was just Echo and Spotlight, as they are being swarmed upon like mosquitoes in a North Carolina summer. Overnight is just flying around Black Mamba, and I don't even think that they are aware of the Mamba's location. well, if there's ever a team that you would expect to be a sneaky snake, I guess the Black Mambas would be them. Oh, that's right, ladies and gentlemen. Dad jokes all around. You can't stop me with it. All right, well, where's the next bit of confrontation going to come from? A little soon to tell, apparently. I think I'm going to stay here. Oh, pardon me, not here. We're going to go right on back to the last hope here for the Black Mambas, as they are kind of fighting an inevitable battle against time. It's only a matter of time before overnight pushes in, if they are in fact aware of where the Mambas are slithering. Oh wow, I was trying to fix the iPad view and it looks like that wasn't even the major issue. Oh yes it was, okay. Well, now Echo and Spotlight know that the time has come. Both Echo and Spotlight taking some considerable damage, and Echo, with just a hairline of health, still able to secure the knock somehow. But boy, revenge served out cold, fast, and on a platter as he is taken out of the equation. That snake will slither no more, and so it is going to be Spotlight on the very own Spotlight himself. Can he somehow manage this 1v2? He does have the high ground in his favor. Unfortunately for him, it does seem to be a tough one where the numbers are against his favor. He's outnumbered, outmanned, and outgunned here. So, ladies and gentlemen, oh, what just happened there? It looks like that's that for that, but unfortunately, F29 still dealing with some AFKs. But there is a threat on the table, and it's going to be between KG Esports and their opponents in Excuse. Now, as you can see, Excuse holding position, able to dish out some decent damage to Calicar, taking him down to just about 60% of his health. All the while, we got Cryptic facing off against the opponents in Team Aces. And actually, we see Cryptic becoming the deli meat here in this peanut butter and trouble sandwiches. They are driving in between members of Aces and One Shot. One Shot dishing out some serious bullets, but it's actually going to be Excuse doing the real work on Cryptic as they take Gunman and Grinch out of the equation. Both are knocked, and yes, it's back to lobby for them, reducing Cryptic down to half of their starting lineup. They are now a two-piece of Reborn and Viper, unless they are somehow able to go back for a miraculous save on Grinch, which is going to be a tough one if possible. But now Reborn has been reclapped, so to speak, and it's going to be on Viper to carry on the team name. Now, at this point, you probably are going to imagine that the best move for him would be to bow out and just try to secure some placement here for the team, which brings me to a great point, ladies and gentlemen. If you are new to the Dead Month tournament, we operate on official PMPL scoring structure. Now, why is that important? It's because the PMPL scoring structure has been updated somewhat recently, a couple months back, and it's going to be placing less emphasis on placement overall and more emphasis on elimination points, meaning that fewer placing teams will get placement points. I believe now it's only to the top 8 slots, but on top of that, eliminations are going to be doing a bit more weight, carrying a bit more weight than they did previously. And it is a good thing, in my opinion, because as we are passing our 5th year of PUBG Mobile Esports, we are fairly well rehearsed in this game, and we don't really need that idle time. We don't need that downtime of camping. We know how it's all done, and so I think we're here to see the action unfold. And speaking of action, we've got Wall Street Bets' own Jat G filling in here for members of Third Eye as they face off against none other than Spirit. Decay holding position, and it looks like a molly thrown out, putting a little bit of hellfire onto Minato, and Jadon. Both taken down to about half health. The candle is burning, but the candle's not out, and it looks like Third Eye has not been closed. And Jet G with a rookie mistake with that utility, missing the mark there. More mollies thrown towards Third Eye, and Minato is going to be taken down there and then. Oh, my apologies, ladies and gentlemen. Wow. Rookie mistakes all around today. Oh! And with Jat down, it's going to be on Anzo and Jadon. And as I say it, the caster curse is all too real. Anzo is the final hope now for Third Eye. He is the last eye open. And trying to see with a 20/20 vision. These dad jokes are running rampant right now. And it looks like Overnight going to be going after members of the Lycans off in the distance. Lycans, a long-known participating team in these events. And as you can see, Overnight still resuming this onslaught as a three-piece with 7 kills to their name. And get this, guys, all 7 kills are to the 3 players still up. So anything is possible here. Well, driving out of the frying pan and into the fire, it looks like One Shot and Overnight going to exchange some conversations, but instead of words, they're going to be speaking bullets, and it does not seem like the message has been hitting home here. F29 Milky going to be a sneaky Michael Phelps, a sneaky little water snake here, trying to remain underwater and hidden from the likes of KG Esports. KG could be a little bit preoccupied here with members of J Nepal, though, as they battle it out here on the coast. All the while, Spirit Airlines having some discontent passengers. We got Blaze Guy and Rich coming in like bats out of hell, just blindly rushing KG Esports. Wouldn't recommend it, but here you see it. Titanium, quick work. Bird adds onto it, and that Blaze boy is down. The Blaze has been put out. Goodness gracious, DKZA has ruined me. These dad jokes, I'm cringing when I say them, but I can't stop saying them. All right, no time to waste. It looks like Excuse and members of Pinoy's going to be duking it out here at this point. Oh boy, Garcia with very little health, going to be attempted to get revived here by Ketchup. All the while, Jai provides the overwatch and cover fire, just unleashing a hailstorm of 9mm with that Bison, and he does get the knock on what's his name. Can he add on to it? Can Rosh be taken down as well? Oh my goodness, did Jai almost do it? He's got Chronics down, but he still has Kai and Rosh to worry about. And boy, with no health to his name, all he had were first aids and no time to actually implement them. It was the best he could have hoped for, was putting up a fight like that. Looks like KG, still that full 4-piece, now duking it off with the high ground holders and Strangers BD. We see Volt X holding position with that M4 3X combo, trying to catch a line of sight on members of Excuse. Pulling a nice little gatekeep. And so I think the closest thing to an altercation would have to be here between the 2-piece of One Shot and the looming opposition and Team Aces. Here we are catching eyes on Alf. Alf just trying to be a belly bandit here. Lay low and under the radar. Try to let these numbers dwindle to at least try to secure some sort of placement points. But unknowingly to him, without 2 matching tags, they're not going to be scored. But as I said at the beginning of the match, ladies and gents, it is not a waste of time. They are ensuring that they don't get banned from upcoming events. All right. Well, that nade does connect on Bird. The Bird has been put down, and now at this point, Calicar and Titanium have to carry on the team's name, but the caster curse is all too real, taken out of the equation just like that. Now, looks like we're going to catch eyes on members of Excuse, but potentially this looming threat between Aces and Overnight continues. Alright, we got Junie G, Sadra, and Blank here, holding position in one of the few buildings remaining to the zone. When compound cover can become few and far between, being able to claim those few buildings can be the absolute difference maker between life and death. And here we see the Cliff Holders and Jay Nepal doing a lot of work here and trying to enshroud themselves in some utility cover all the while, and it seems to be paying out fairly well in their favor. Strangers BD continuing this altercation with pardon me, it looks to be Lonely, all things considered, living up to his name here. Lonely does get the kill, but quickly joining the person he sent back to lobby. And that's just good placement on the end of Jay Nepal, getting that positioning, the high ground, and letting those two teams work on each other, duke it out, let them do all the damage to each other, and then it's just like fish in a barrel from there. Easy, easy claps. Alright, well, Junie G with that 4x M4 does secure some connecting damage onto Hollow. Hollow, of course, playing for Team Exceed. And at this point, Exceed is looking very strong, but Hollow, being the outlier in this position, a ways away from the team, not like to be able to get in without facing some gatekeep of some sort. And ladies and gentlemen, we are down to 5 teams sparsed across 11 people to determine the winners of round 1 of 3 here. It's about to be all-out bloodbath warfare from this point on as we reach the end game for our first match of the day. Alright, well, we're hearing this exchange of bullets between Aces, Strangers, and Exceed here. Junie holding off Exceed while Blank puts the work onto Strangers BD. But can this two-piece with the compound cover that they had be enough? It doesn't look like the zone is going to be in their favor. So they're going to have to migrate into this new zone somehow, some way. And the only way I can see being a possibility is if their opponents in Team Aces unintentionally take the attention away from Strangers BD. All right. So, with all the technical issues still going on, of course, to be the nature, no matter how much we prepare, these things just happen. But we are at our end game, and ladies and gentlemen, we have got ourselves a completely unfair fight. It's a 4v3v1 between Exceed, Team Aces, and the final hope for Strangers BD, G9. And I have to say, you know, give it credit to where credit is due. Team Aces, even with not being the full team here on the playing field, they're using their numbers in good favor, but also positioning. Claiming early real estate into the new zone can be a huge difference maker, and even where the numbers fall short against Exceed, they do have the compound cover that Exceed wishes that they had. Not only that, but they have the favor of this new zone just by sheer luck alone. And so all they need to do is lay low and let the opponents present themselves on a platter. Okay, finally got it going. It took a minute, but we do have the alt map up. And here you can see it, Hollow just holding position, but I think we're going to go to the solo on the alt map. And just playing a waiting game here, understandably so. And Exceed making very intelligent use of their utilities, because when compound cover becomes few and far between, that's when you really count on that smoke cover to shroud your way into the safe zone, but Sadra just wrecking into EXC, and now they're left here with a fair fight, a 3v3, but they can't forget the solo in the distance from Strangers BD, and this is exactly what G9 was hoping for, was to let the pressure and the attention fall away from him, let these two teams duke it out, and all he has to do is lay low for a little longer, and he'll get the additional placement points of getting that second place finish if he can just stay under the radar. Well, shots fired outwards from Aces, not really hitting the mark onto Exceed. We see Selfless a little bit damaged, but only about one boost away from regaining full health. So it's really going to be a close one. And I am honestly going to say G9 has a genuine shot of getting up to second place if he can just get lucky one more time, one more zone in his favor. He really might be able to work his way up as a solo to second place. And ladies and gentlemen, with the new scoring structure, it does not eliminate the purpose of placement. It still carries a lot of weight. So by all means, even though it's emphasized less, that is not to say that getting placement points does not serve a strong purpose, as we are about to see potentially. Well, I withdraw that statement with a caster curse as G9 is eliminated. But hey, ain't nothing wrong with a bronze medal finish when you were a solo for a good while. So a 3v3 to end round one, a fair fight. Let's get it on. Now, this could be a really interesting conundrum here, so to speak, for Exceed. As you can see, they don't really have any way to secure around into Aces without being noticed here. And oof, to add insult to injury, one of their members being shot down is going to basically ruin any potential hope of catching him unawares. So now it's on Hollow to provide the overwatch and cover fire as he prepares a utility nade. Gonna try to make it rain a little bit of hellfire, but he actually becomes the hellfire himself. That candle's burning bright. Gonna quickly first aid, but Piso is also taken down in the process. So now it's Selfless and Hollow, and Selfless with no health to his name, relying upon Hollow while he heals up, and Hollow does not disappoint with a beautiful takedown just in time. And unfortunately, Selfless gets a little bit of revenge on a platter. So now, am I correct in thinking, yes, we have ourselves a 1v1 unless he allows them to get this revive. But ladies and gentlemen, he does! He's allowing Aces to get the revive. Do the math, Hollow. It was as close as you were going to get to a fair fight. But allowing that revive is going to put him back into a handicap here, a 1v2. But hey, crazier things have happened in the Dead Month tournament. But it ain't gonna be this time. And ladies and gentlemen, any way you look at it, that's got to be game over. But what an intense first round. All the technical hiccups as to be expected, but an amazing performance by several teams here. Let's give a little bit of a spotlight here to Team Aces as they secure that gold medal chicken dinner on the tip of their tongue finish with, count them up, 8 kills, and almost half of those kills go to Blink, just a little shy. We got Exceed, definitely exceeding expectations as they secure the silver medal second place finish with 8 kills, 6 of which go to EXC alone. That's a heavy backpack. Strangers BD, very thankful for G9, who was able to get the placement all the way up to third place, and that is going to be a huge help for them. But those 5 elimination points aren't going to be doing any damage to that either, though. It's definitely going to help and come in handy coming down the road. Now, with that being said, 5 kills and a third place finish is not quite good enough to where I think you've got some slack in the rope. It doesn't mean that they can afford a terrible match by any means. Only the top 4 teams are going to advance, so not a lot of room for error. Well, we got Excuse coming in 4th, and they're going to be doing so with a very healthy double-digit 10-kill finish. Very nicely done, and put it in perspective against, third place is Strangers, 5 kills and a third place finish. Well, remember what I said, the placement is getting less emphasis now. So that 4th place finish is going to be significantly more impacting for for the outcome than it was for strangers. Now, Jay Nepal. Oh, pardon me. Yeah, Jay Nepal, 5th place, but doing so with a whopping 14 kills between only 3 of their players. That's a very, very impressive job and definitely going to help even the odds for them. Now, One Shot does not seem to have the 2 tags required, so while they did secure a 6th place finish, it's a 0 on the board for them. But they didn't waste their time because by participating, they ensured that they're not banned from the upcoming months. Now we got the Lycans howling their way into 7th place and doing so with only 1 kill from Lonely. F29 landing in 8th with 1 kill from Dark. We got Lettuce in 9th place with 2. Overnight in 10th place with a pretty healthy 8 kills. We got Third Eye being shut in 11th place here with 1 kill to Jat G. KG Esports securing 12th with 3. We got Team Pinoys in 13th, and that's going to be with 1 kill from Jai. Lotus in 14th with 5. Coming in 15th, the Spirit team has had their spirit broken in 15th place with 2 kills. We got Cryptic in 16th, but with a big fat onion to send them home crying. We got Sentinel securing 17th, but keeping up with that big 0 trend. The Black Mamba slithering in to 18th place and with only 1 kill, and that goes to Robin. We got GR Esports grabbing 19th with 1 kill from PC. And lastly, in 20th, with 1 kill only, it's going to be the heavy-hitting team of C4, the Titan Series victors, last place in the Dead Month tournament. Well, crazier things have happened. But ladies and gents, that's only 1 match down. We still have 2 more matches of action, mayhem, and strategy ahead of us. Now, this is where things get a little bit spicy. So, as I said, to reflect the official PMPO, we have brought the Kindy back. So coming at you for round 2, we're going to get things a little bit more chilly as we come back in just a few short moments with round 2 of 3 of my very own RedEyes $450 Dead in September tournament qualifiers for Group A, brought to you and sponsored by, for the very first time, the heavy-hitting newcomers to the table, Kick Streaming. And if you guys aren't aware, a 95% payout for the streamers. You get 95% of the revenue that you earn. Now, put that in comparison to Twitch's 50-50, and it makes Twitch essentially look like sketchy blackmailers, I'll say, You cannot beat a 95% revenue payout. So guys, if you have not created a Kick account, you gotta, because coming at you for matches 2 and 3, we do have 600 UC codes, but they're going to be released exclusively at kick.com/RedEyesOfficial. The link is at the top center of the page. We'll be back at you in just a few short moments. Stick around. We'll be back soon. Sneaky little water snake here, trying to remain underwater and hidden from the likes of KG Esports. KG could be a little bit preoccupied here with members of Jay Nepal, though, as they battle it out here on the coast. All the while, Spirit Airlines having some discontent passengers. We got Blaze Guy and Rich coming in like bats out of hell, just blindly rushing KG Esports. Wouldn't recommend it, but here you see it. Titanium, quick work, Bird adds onto it, and that Blaze boy is down. The Blaze has been put out. Goodness gracious, DKZA has ruined me. These dad jokes, I'm cringing when I say them, but I can't stop saying them. Alright, no time to waste. It looks like Excuse and members of Pinoys gonna be duking it out here. At this point, oh boy, Garcia with very little health, gonna be attempted to get revived here by Ketchup. All the while, Jai provides the overwatch and cover fire, just unleashing a hailstorm of 9mm with that Bison, and he does get the knock on what's his name. Can he add on to it? Can Rosh be taken down as well? Newer 7.62 automatic Honey Badger, ready to dish out some damage. if the opposition decides to push, and Spotlight doing a little bit of the same. And it's pretty understandable in this scenario where the numbers are very much against their favor for them to be a little bit more reserved. Not so much to the point where you're playing passive, but a reserved approach, not giving out any easy kills. Looks like members of Team Aces not far off from the southbound threat in Lettuce Esports. Lettuce consisting of Meatball, Kanaki, Chaos, and Flock. As you can see, Meatball already with that AUG-23. As of the brand new update, this is now a regular gun, no longer a crate gun as it was since the inception of PUBG Mobile. It is now rejoined the ranks of the everyday guns. However, flip the script, the FAMAS, believe it or not, is now the crate gun to take its place. I'm not sure how everyone's feeling about that yet, but ooh, Dark being quickly approached by aces, and boy, yes, it's going to be tough to beat those pocket aces. That hand also positioning, claiming early real estate into the new zone can be a huge difference maker, and even where the numbers fall short against Exceed, they do have the compound cover that Exceed wishes that they had. Not only that, but they have the favor of this new zone just by sheer luck alone. And so all they need to do is lay low and let the opponents present themselves on a platter. Okay, finally got it going. It took a minute, but we do have the alt map up, and here you can see it, Hollow just holding position, but I think we're going to go to the solo on the alt map. And just playing a waiting game here, understandably so, and Exceed making very intelligent use of their utilities, because when compound cover becomes few and far between, that's when you really count on that smoke cover to shroud your way into the safe zone. But Sadra just wrecking into EXC, and now they're left here with a fair fight, a 3v3, but they can't forget the solo in the distance from Strangers BD. And this is exactly what G9 was hoping for, was to let the pressure discontent passengers. We got Blaze Guy and Rich coming in like bats out of hell, just blindly rushing KG Esports. Wouldn't recommend it, but here you see it. Titanium, quick work, Bird adds onto it, and that Blaze boy is down. The Blaze has been put out. Goodness gracious, DKZA has ruined me. These dad jokes, I'm cringing when I say them, but I can't stop saying it. All right, no time to waste. It looks like Excuse and members of Pinoy's gonna be duking it out here. At this point, oh boy, Garcia with very little health, gonna be attempted to get revived here by Ketchup. All the while, Jai provides the overwatch and cover fire, just unleashing a hailstorm of 9mm with that Bison, and he does get the knock on what's his name. Can he add on to it? Can Rosh be taken down as well? Oh my goodness, did Jai almost do it? He's got Chronics down, but he still has Kai and Rosh to worry about. And boy, with no health to his name, all he had were first aids and no time to actually implement. It is not a waste of time. They are ensuring that they don't get banned from upcoming events. All right, well, that nade does connect on Bird. The Bird has been put down, and now at this point Calicar and Titanium have to carry on the team's name, but the caster curse is all too real, taken out of the equation just like that. Now looks like we're going to catch eyes on members of Excuse, but potentially this looming threat between Aces and Overnight continues. All right, we got Junie G, Sadra, and Blank here, holding position in one of the few buildings remaining to the zone. When compound cover can become few and far between, being able to claim those few buildings can be the absolute difference maker between life and death. And here we see the Cliff Holders and Jay Nepal doing a lot of work here and trying to enshroud themselves in some utility cover all the while, and it seems to be paying out fairly well in their favor. Strangers BD continuing this altercation with Pardon me, it looks to be Lonely, all things considered, living up to his name here. Lonely does get the kill, but quickly joining the person he sent back to. Sneaky little water snake here, trying to remain underwater and hidden from the likes of KG Esports. KG could be a little bit preoccupied here with members of J Nepal though, as they battle it out here on the coast. All the while, Spirit Airlines having some discontent passengers. We got Blaze Guy and Rich coming in like bats out of hell, just blindly rushing KG Esports. Wouldn't recommend it, but here you see it. Titanium, quick work, Bird adds on to it. Oh, sorry about all those, ladies and gentlemen. Well, welcome back to round 2 of 3 of my very own RedEyes $450 Dead in September tournament qualifiers for Group A, brought to you and sponsored by, for the first time ever, the absolute annihilating newcomers to the block, Kick Streaming. Guys, be sure to create a Kick account. If you are a content creator, there's nothing better than getting your first payout at 95% stream revenue. I myself had 10 subs gifted by a friend last week. I actually only became eligible to monetize last week, and I've already received 2 payouts since then, and considerable payouts at that. So guys, if you are a content creator, it's just all around in your best interest to make as much money as possible, and this would be the most efficient platform to do it on. Well, we are kicking off round 2 of 3 here, ladies and gentlemen, with the very chilly Vikendi. Now, what do we need? Oh, I love this map scene. It's the first time I've had it working. What do we need to say about a map like Vikendi? Well, it's basically a good middle ground between the dry, open, arid desert of Miramar and that lush, condensed forest of Sandhawk, because this finds itself resting at a halfway size of about a 6x6. But what is the obvious points of it? Well, it's got certain congested areas for that close quarter combat that you would find on a tinier map, but then it's got a ton of open field spaces that aren't really secured by the geography, because it's open territory, so a lot of large map altercations can happen here too. The obvious is that it is going to be a snow map, so your outfits are going to stick out quite a bit more than they would on, let's say, a Erangel or a Sandhawk. But furthermore, it goes a little bit further, because you can also find that you can track footsteps and tire tracks as well. Now that is a very significant difference, because that means you could be being pursued without having any know-abouts of it. Well, it looks like someone's being pursued. The strangers are trying to get a little bit less strangery here and get a little more acquainted with the opposition in Lotus Esports. It's going to be a tough one. It looks like Neverside 1 took quite a bit of damage there, and oh yeah, Anders added a little bit more insult to injury, taking him down, leaving it reliant upon Volt X, Stranger, and G9. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if you're watching on a different platform other than kick.com/RedEyesOfficial, be aware that the UC codes that I'm about to release are only going to be seen on Kick. So, if you're watching on YouTube or on Twitch, I'm going to go ahead and end this stream there altogether. If you are watching on a different platform, please, please, please come tune in and show your support at Kick Streaming. It would mean the absolute world to me. And make an account. Give them a follow, because these guys are doing a lot to help me out. Let's return some of that loving. G9 downed like a bad habit right there and then. And yep, Volt coming in with an electrifying performance here, quickly switching over to that double barrel shotgun, the DBS, which has frustrated everyone to their last nerve for the past few months, but at the same time, it's still a game changer. As you can see, even post-nerf, that DBS is dishing out monster damage. Looks like in the northern portion of the map, we've got a bit of an altercation brewing at port, and it's going to be between KG Esports and, pardon me, oh no, I didn't even put up the round tabs. I'm so excited about these. I made some new tabs for them. Well, here you see it. KG Esports and their opponents, ooh, pardon me. Yes, okay, it's KG Esports and One Shot duking it out at the northern portion, but also another little bit of action potentially on the board could come on our alt cam. Let's have a look-see. It's going to be between 3 teams. We've got Cryptic, members of Sentinels, as well as the opposition in Lettuce Esports. A little love triangle formulating there. So, getting eyes, you can see Viper being the little fiddler on the roof here, just waiting for the right opportunity to strike. Now, does he know about what he's up against here? I am not sure, to be honest. I'm actually going to zoom out just for a minute. Yeah, well, you can bet your bottom dollar that Sentinels are very aware. Tell you what, we'll go ahead and bring that up on the main cam, just so we can keep our eyes tuned in to whatever action is on the board. So Sentinels already taken a heavy hit as they lost Dark Light early on, but the star is still shining bright as he retaliates, getting a kill of his own and bringing the team up to a very healthy 3. As Sentinels carries on as a 3-piece of Jelly King. Chaos somehow able to secure that revive, but immediately after, the deed was undone with an M16, and now Chaos faces a bit of chaos on his own here, taken down, leaving everything reliant upon Flock to carry on the team name and any shot at placement points to add on. And yep, it's going to be some smokes put out by Flock to try to enshroud some sort of safe exit here. Now, the only, oh, pardon me, not to enshroud a safe exit. He might even attempt to go for a revive, but Stars cooking up a nade of his own, being a sneaky little Martha Stewart and pre-cooking it. But it does not quite hit the mark. So, that's going to leave Lettuce down to their final hope here. Flock going to have to carry on the team name on his own in a 1v3. Can he do it? It does not look to be the case. Sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. I'm trying a new method here of... what is going on with that? Huh. One moment. Sorry about this. There we go. Trying a new method of streaming here. That way I can utilize more monitor space, but getting used to some of the hiccups here. Well, it looks like the Lycan's going to have to howl off against Team Pinoys, and here we see Lonely firing away with that UMP-45, that CQC Annihilator, and dishing out an onslaught of bullets. However, Ketchup trying to catch up right there and then, and boy, the flavor has gone out for him, and Lonely is not so lonely anymore as he goes back to lobby to join his fallen teammates. That's going to be 4 kills on the board for Team Pinoys, and they're going to carry on, but it is not without taking quite a heavy hit. They lost half their starting lineup in the process, and they're going to have to catch up with just Ketchup and Garcia. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, if you aren't aware, I am hearing these dad jokes and cringing myself, but I refuse to stop. The cornier the joke, the better. Well, with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and end the stream on other platforms. So if you're watching on YouTube or Twitch, you're going to have to go over to kick.com/RedEyesOfficial if you want any shot at these UC codes. All right. Have a good one if you're on the other ones. It's going to be kick only from here out. All right. So, having said that, we've got, Cryptic's Viper in a standoff, a 1v3 scenario. And look at this, ladies and gentlemen. Sentinels playing a great positioning, a 2-1 split here. This is going to be a real good opportunity for Jelly to get this off angle, but Riz King is going to have to take a lot of that attention for him. Now, with all this being said here, Jay Nepal could come in from the distance, but Cry Viper is going to have to hold his own, on his own too. And boy, oh boy, to say, if you didn't believe in the caster curse before, I hope you do now. But let's go ahead and get things a little bit spicy. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks to the amazing partner sponsorship with Crafton, Level Infinite, and Lightspeed Studios and Tencent, we do have some UC codes to give out. That's right. So, who's ready? The very first 600 UC code giving away for the night. Now, keep in mind, to redeem it, I'm trying to leave it up here as long as possible, but you're going to have to go to this website. I'm going to paste it here into the chat of Kick and Kick only. Sorry about this. As I just try to get this page to open here so I can paste it. There we go. Redeem. Register at redeyesofficial.com. All right, and we're going to go ahead and pin that chat. So, the very first UC code of the night. It's only going to be redeemable one time. So, first come, first serve, and I wish you all the best of luck with it. But, ooh, wow, C4 about to square off with F29 off in the distance. And we've got an altercation brewing here between Aces and Overnight. But I don't want to waste anyone's time here. I know a lot of you guys are here for it. So, here we go. The first UC code of the night is CKTQZMZFF39. Redeemable only at the link pinned to the top of the Kick chat. Go ahead and tune on in, guys. But best of luck. 600 UC up for grabs. So what else is happening here on the playing field? Well, we got Aces very close by the opposition in one shot. Also off in the distance, there is another fight here on the table. It looks to be members of Sentinels at this point reduced down to just Jellies. Jelly is the final hope up against a three-piece, potentially even a four-piece of Jay Nepal. And Jay Nepal, let's have a look-see at the map. Looks like they're utilizing a split, no less. Yep. And here we have it. Riz King being pushed on and just turned into a bowling pin right there. Jelly firing outwards, trying to retaliate, and he does get the knock. Wolf is taken down. That was very impressive, but oh, you know, that was only a matter of time before revenge was dished out, and Jelly got smushed into a sandwich situation right there. Pun intended. All right, so the standoff between One Shot and Aces looms on here, but off in the distance, we got Calicar of KG Esports duking it out with the southbound threat in Jay Nepal. Now, Jay Nepal, with a knock on Leon, it's going to be reliant entirely upon KK to try to enshroud his teammate in what little smoke cover, utility cover he can, and pull off what is, at the very least, a risky revive if KG pushed. Now, KG looks like they may have had some revives on their schedule as well, and that was their saving grace for Jay Nepal. But let's learn from those errors and bow out and claim some placement, says Jay Nepal. We are outnumbered, outmanned, and outgunned. Let's leave this fight and give ourselves a chance at getting some future placement points nonetheless. All the while, the same fight looms on between One Shot and Team Aces. Aces holding their cards close, all things considered. These dad jokes are getting cringy, but I love it. Yep, they're not folding anytime soon here up against members of One Shot. However, Dior's could be the outlying variable that Aces did not account for. If they aren't aware of Dior's, then he might be able to let his teammates get a little bit of attention drawn to him and come in with a third angle, maybe even a surprise molly or nade. And elsewhere, we are left with a bit of a spread here. So while I have just another brief moment, guys, I'm going to go over the format one more time here as it currently stands, just so we can all get on the same page about the structure of the event. So we have 20 teams competing in tonight's qualifiers. And of those 20 teams, only 4 teams are going to be allowed to advance. Now we run 3 qualifiers, so that's going to be 12 qualified teams to join the 8 invited Tier 1 professional teams, where they are all going to be duking it out for that $400 first place prize and $50 most eliminations prize as well, on September 30th, 9 o'clock EST. All right. Well, a bit of a waiting game between these two teams, understandably so. No one wants to be giving up any easy eliminations or offering the opponent any easy kills, but it does leave us with that downtime. Now, Dior's making a bit of a vulnerable overwatch here by trying to catch eyes on Exceed off in the distance. He should, by any means, be in a line of sight if Aces were to hop out of the building. But without there being any windows on that side for the second story, he does get a little bit of a saving grace there. So where's the next bit of blood gonna come from? Perhaps from this final hope here of F29. Oh, pardon me, not final hope. This 3-piece of F29 and their opposition in Team Pinoys. Ah, I see why this is confusing me. Sorry, I just have to fix a little thing on the game feed, apparently. Oh, I'm wrong. Okay. Well, F29 has pulled up to the party. Team Pinoy's F29, it's going to be a 3v2, Ketchup and Garcia. Can they clutch it? Well, no time to waste, because off in the distance, we got another fight between KG and members of Excuse. And here we see F29 trying to get Ketchup out of the equation. Tell you what, we'll go into Ketchup's perspective as he is naded down to literally 15% of his health, and then a second nade to add to it, to add a little insult to injury, sending him and his teammate right on back to the lobby. And now we're going to go ahead and tune in to members of KG Esports. Actually, we'll go into their final opposition, the solo now for Excuse, as he is reduced down to nothingness. Mikey, taken down in the process, quickly going to be revived by his teammates here in preparation for this in-game. Now, while One Shot and Aces are pretty close by, I guess that actually might be growing stronger here, close by, their northbound threat and Team Aces, this little standoff here has been happening for no lie, probably a little over 10 minutes, so I'm not that eager to keep a watch on that fight, just because it could leave us with a bit of a waiting game, a battle of patience, if you will. So, catching eyes on members of GR Esports. GR, just across the way from members of KG, and with a bit of a high ground in their favor. Now, that begs to question, ladies and gentlemen, what do you think is the better call? The geographical high ground and overwatch advantage, or the low ground but with compound cover, those 4 walls of cover but having a low ground disadvantage? Who would you rather be in this case, Team 16 or 4? Would you rather be GR Esports or KG Esports? And, well, that's if you were to say put the numbers aside, put their team numbers aside. there and how many players they still have up. I would say I'm going to have to side here with GR Esports and the geographical high ground, but that might not be the best move. It all varies on a contextual basis. But here, as you can see, the reason I'm going to say I side with him is because if PC was knocked, let's say, from KG Esports, the second he is gone prone from the knock, he's out of the line of sight for majority of KG Esports. However, in this position, knowing what we know now, we do see a little looming threat off in the distance in C4. So that definitely changes things up a little bit from our perspective, but that's with 2020 observers' vision. Keep in mind, GR doesn't have such a luxury. All right, well, PC firing away as a solo from this cliff top. His teammate Alien is somewhat of an alien in this situation. He is definitely not close enough to back his teammate up. And as I say that, I realize I'm wrong. But the shots on Knock Knock are enough to take him down to half health, but not enough to knock. All right. Oh! Phenomenal shots onto Knock Knock right there. I just caster cursed Knock myself. PC, it's almost like he heard the commentary and got a little upset and decided to prove me wrong. And boy, oh boy, Titanium has melted here right in front of us. And that's going to leave Calicar, I believe just Calicar. Yes, it is Calicar, the final hope for KG Esports, with an M4 DBS combo and a level 3 vest that's already almost totaled. You could breathe on it and potentially do some damage to him. So he's going to have to play it very carefully and try his best to lay low under the radar. That might be an actual possibility here if GR Esports unintentionally takes some attention away from him. But no time to waste, because down south we got Exceed preparing to face off against Strangers BD. We'll get that up here on the main cam and check in to make sure we're not missing anything else on the playing field. Now, the standoff between Growing Stronger and Aces does carry on, but as I said, this has been going on for now close to 15 minutes, and I'm not really sure that it's going to amount to anything other than a rotation into zone. Neither team seems all that eager for confrontation with the other at this point. And that is understandable when you only have 3 matches to decide if you're going to advance to the finals. Any mistakes made, one bad match will almost certainly take you out of the equation. I don't see a very high likelihood of advancing to the finals with a last place finish in one of these matches unless you are somehow able to manage to get some of this Vikendi snow into hell. You know, if it snows in hell and you are able to get back-to-back chicken dinners with a hefty amount of eliminations, minimum, 8 to 10 per match, then maybe a shot. But that's never happened in the 31 months that this event has been out. So I'm going to say all likelihood, your best bet is to at least ensure some placement. Get those placement points, but you're going to need to be ready to handle your CQCs, your close quarter combat altercations. Well, we're about to have some right here as Dior's faces off against 2 strangers, but one stranger, Volt, has been taken down. It's all on Dior's here. Luckily, he had a little help from Spence. However, Spence taken out in a third party from hell from Team Aces. Luckily, Dior's will likely be able to secure these 2 collabs. But Revenge coming in for a little bit of just that, trying to live up to his name. Can he do it with no health to his name? Oh my goodness, clinging to this wall for dear life. Can he get a first aid off? If so, it would be a huge error on Dior's end, and it is not going to happen. It's back to lobby for the Strangers. And just like that, V2, aka One Shot, aka Growing Stronger, whoever they are on Team 17, gonna carry on with one person. But keep in mind, this one person responsible for 5 of the Team's 7 kills. Alrighty, sorry guys, my throat is almost about to give out there. I had to go grab an energy drink. So, as we approach our end game here for round 2 in the icy landscape of Vikendi, we still have 22 people spread across 9 teams in this tiny zone where there is virtually no compound cover afforded to the remaining participants. What does that mean? It means it's all about strategy, skill, and implementation at this point. All out bloodbath warfare from this point in the match on. Alright, well, Spirit, all about that early real estate, becomes the deli meat in this peanut butter and trouble sandwich. And yes, Team Aces and Black Mambas will be the bread of that sandwich. Unique taken down right before our eyes. And that leaves Rich and Decay, but Rich taking so much damage, he needs to secure a first aid on himself before assisting his teammate here, leaving Decay in charge of Overwatch and cover fire in the meantime. And boy, it's going to be tough here. Decay enshrouding himself in what cover he can. Not just with the vehicle, but a little bit of a utility to assist as well. But Junie and Sadra running right up to them. That is a huge error on the final member of Spirit to allow Aces to just run right up through open territory and secure those thirsts. It didn't need to happen. Well, Junie is going to be up against Decay, but Decay taken out by the Mambas, striking from a third-party perspective, just like that. And now KG Esports, the final hope for KG, Calicar, in a very, very formidable opposition against a full 3-piece of F29. However, keep in mind, F29 started this match as a 3-piece, so they have not lost any members yet. But when you could have 4, you're coming in at an immediate disadvantage with 3. But they all have the tags. They can all get scored. Calicar knows he is outnumbered, outmanned, outgunned, and he knows he's being hunted. All the while, Aces and Mamba duking it out on the southbound portion of the zone. Tell you what, we'll get F29 up on the alt cam. Alright, well, F29 going to try to make their great escape here, pulling a wide flank vehicle rotation and driving out of the frying pan into the fire, so to speak, as they go right on by the final member of GR Esports, and now right into the line of sight of Junie from Team Aces, as he makes very well known, putting shots out to Milky. Milky taking such a heap of damage, but not enough to seal the deal just yet. Tell you what, let's get this on the main cam. Ladies and gentlemen, 6 teams remain across 10 people. We got Exceed, Team Aces, F29, GR Esports, and KG Esports to duke it out. Alright, Spotlight trying to get some last-minute boosts in his favor. But the nades raining down upon him. Hellfire crashing next to Echo, taking him down to below half health, putting a lot of extra pressure here on Spotlight. The Spotlight could be on Spotlight as Aces swarms like mosquitoes in a North Carolina summer. They are coming in hot. Tell you what, let's get both ends of it. Actually, no, let's not. I was almost going to put up the alt cam again, but I think we're going to keep it a little bit smaller for now. Yeah, that's much better. All right. Well, Milky barely surviving that. F29 still a 2-piece with very little health. Dark coming up with no health. Milky is pasteurized right there. And then leaving it all reliant upon Dark to carry on the team name and clutch this. All the while, Spotlight of Black Mamba laying an outward onslaught towards Team Aces. Let's go bird's eye here for the conclusion of this endgame. Alright, 2v1. Pardon me, 2v2 here. And then realistically, it's a 2v3 because I love what Aces is doing. They got a 2-1 split here. And with that off angle, they, as you're about to see right here and now, as Sadra becomes a birthday candle alongside his teammate Blink, their off-angle holder, Junie, is now their saving grace. That's why I love that positioning, not just for the ability to enact the boa method, but also not putting all your coins in one basket. Junie is the opportunity, that second chance at life, and he comes in beautifully, redeeming his teammates, getting the 8th kill, and bringing Team Aces as a 3-piece up to 16 kills, and still on top of that, with Sadra back up, they're going to carry on in a 2v2, a fair fight against F29 to end round 2. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get it. Oh man, both teams here in a bit of a conundrum because they both hold the edges. Oh, but Milky's taken down, and now is Ace's time to strike, and they know it. Sadra wasting no time, coming in, guns ablazing with a vehicle from hell, and he does secure it. It's actually Sadra who gets the takedown on Dark after it's all said and done. But any way you look at it, what a performance. We have got to give it up. Team Aces coming in and clutching round 2. Any way you look at it, that's game over. Aces, what a performance there. 18 kills between Sadra, Blink, and Junie. Each of them is carrying a nerd's weight on their backpack. Just too many textbooks, too much practice, too much synergy. That is very rare to see a 3-piece clutch that many kills out. Hey, let's not discredit F29 though. Ain't nothing wrong with Silver as they take second with 4 kills as a 3-piece, coming in at an immediate disadvantage with less, artillery to their name, less gunpowder and less backup to their name. The odds were much more stacked against them, and they still knew how to play it just right, not getting too aggressive and not actively putting themselves in the overly vulnerable situations too early on, meaning a moderate, steady number of kills and emphasizing placement. That's what you gotta do when you're at a number disadvantage, and F29 did it beautifully. The Black Mambas slithered their way into 3rd place with that bronze medal 3rd place finish with 7 kills. 5 of those 7 go to Echo alone. But we got GR Esports claiming 4th, only 3 kills to their name, but the placement should help even that out. Speaking of 3 kills, we got KG Esports in 5th place with 3. Coming in 6th, it's going to be not quite exceeding expectations this time, with 1 kill only for Piso. Spirit has had their spirit broken as the onions are just being thrown at them. 0 kills to their name, 7th place finish. C4 igniting their way back up the charts here as they take 8th place. Not the best placement, but I do believe that still does secure placement points. But 5 eliminations to add on to that could help even the odds a little bit. However, with C4's finish in round 1, that last place finish, it's going to be a very, very tough hurdle to overcome. However, with what they did in the Titan series, anything's possible. Can't rule them out. Well, Strangers better get a little more familiar here because 10th place ain't going to cut it. However, those 8 kills to their name is definitely going to help alleviate some of that hit that they took there. We got Jay Nepal grabbing 11th with 3 kills. All 3 of those kills came from Yowara. No excuse for 12th place, and only 1 kill from Kai. We got Third Eye being closed in 13th place with 0 kills to their name. Team Pinoys making a little bit of noise, coming in 14th place with 4 kills. We got the Sentinels in 15th, but boasting a pretty healthy 9 kills. What they couldn't do in placement, they were able to do in eliminations, but keep in mind, to be eliminated in 15th place means you weren't really on the playing field for all too long considerably. So to put up, 9 kills in a short time, it's not easy. Give them credit where credit is due. Overnight, underscored. 16th place, big ol' onion for kills. We got Cryptic. Ain't nothing cryptic about 1 kill. It's all 0s and 1s here. We got the Lycans howling into 18th place with 2 kills, 1 from Moon, 1 from Xeno. Lettuce carrying about as much substance and nutrition as lettuce does. No eliminations to their name and no placement to their name either. But keeping up with that trend, Lotus Esports, a very surprising last place finish with only 1 kill to their name from Anders. But oof, it's a tough one. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is 2 matches of action and mayhem done and out of the way, leaving us only 1 more match. Now, we've seen our participants on the very first map ever of Erangel, but that was the map that was first introduced to PUBG, the one that I'm supposed to be most acquainted with. And then we moved things to that, very, very chilly landscape of Vikendi. But now, as we conclude the evening, we're going to be closing in on that lush, condensed rainforest. I am, of course, speaking about Sandhawk as we return for our 3rd and final round of my very own RedEyes $450 Dead in September tournament qualifiers for Group A, brought to you and sponsored by, for the very first time, the amazing Kick Streaming. Yes. Let's see, do I have it? Yeah, Kick Streaming. Huge shout out to them. Guys, if you're not a member of Kick Streaming, be sure to make an account. Drop a follow. If you want to see something pretty cool, donate. Watch me make 95% of that. This is, in my opinion, I really have high hopes, and I am a lot of confidence in Kick Streaming. I think they are just executing this perfectly and building up the hype that is very well due to their name. So thanks to them for keeping this event continuing, and we'll be back at you guys in just a few short moments with our 3rd and final round. Stick around, we'll be back soon. Sneaky little water snake here, trying to remain underwater and hidden from the likes of KG Esports. Tell you what, let's get both ends of it. Actually, no, let's not. I was almost going to put up the alt cam again, but I think we're going to keep it a little bit smaller for now. Yeah, that's much better. All right. Well, Milky barely surviving that. F29 still a 2-piece with very little health. Dark coming up with no health. Milky is pasteurized right there, and then leaving it all reliant upon Dark to carry on the team name and clutch this. All the while, Spotlight of Black Mamba laying an outward onslaught towards Team Aces. Let's go bird's eye here for the conclusion of this endgame. All right, 2v1, pardon me, 2v2 here. And then realistically, it's a 2v3 because I love what Aces is doing. They got a 2-1 split here. And with that off angle, they, as you're about to see right here and now, as Sadra becomes, it is not a waste of time. They are ensuring that they don't get banned from upcoming events. All right, well, that nade does connect on Bird. The Bird has been put down, and now at this point, Calicar and Titanium have to carry on the team's name, but the caster curse is all too real, taken out of the equation just like that. Now, looks like we're going to catch eyes on members of Excuse, but potentially this looming threat between Aces and Overnight continues. All right, we got Junie G, Sadra, and Blank here, holding position in one of the few buildings remaining to the zone. When compound cover can become few and far between, being able to claim those few buildings can be the absolute difference maker between life and death. And here we see the Cliff Holders and Jay Nepal doing a lot of work here and trying to enshroud themselves in some utility cover all the while, and it seems to be paying out fairly well in their favor. Strangers BD continuing this altercation with pardon me, it looks to be Lonely, all things considered, living up to his name here. Lonely does get the kill, but quickly joining the person he sent back to. Also positioning, claiming early real estate into the new zone can be a huge difference maker, and even where the numbers fall short against Exceed, they do have the compound cover that Exceed wishes that they had. Not only that, but they have the favor of this new zone just by sheer luck alone. And so all they need to do is lay low and let the opponents present themselves on a platter. Okay, finally got it going. It took a minute, but we do have the alt map up. And here you can see it, Hollow just holding position, but I think we're going to go to the solo on the